Approach, correction, Hill Tower 127.15.
2715, B-Flight 65.
Tax 2, Ogden.
Hello everyone, thanks so much for stopping by. As you may have seen in my first YouTube short, my family just bought a plane, and this is the full video of the ferry flight from Ogden, Utah to the Arizona Valley. As we get further into the video, I will explain more about the plane, its characteristics, and why we chose this specific model. But for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy this amazing takeoff into Ogden, Utah.
Clear for takeoff, runway 17, right turn westbound at or below 5,500, 419 Whiskey.
Ricky 88 Juliet, runway 17, clear to land.
17 clear to land, 88 Juliet.
So 751 Tango Ogden Tower, I'll try to get you a couple touch and goes. We'll see how it looks when you're ready, runway 17. Taxi to Alpha Delta, cross runway 200 Delta.
Hey, let's see.
Now here we did ask the tower for permission for a short delay. You'll see us power up right here, and we're going to stay on the runway for a little bit. This is just because we're post-maintenance. We just had the airplane worked on, and so we wanted to make sure that everything was working fine before we started the takeoff roll here.
Yeah, I think I taxied all three via Alpha Delta, and I meant to put you up Bravo, which would have cleared up some things for me. So don't hesitate to question on that. That's what we try to do if we can. I'm just working two frequencies here, and I'm getting a lot of blocks, so it's just what came out was Alpha Delta. Sorry about that. Well, it's only fair to get you a few. I've given everybody else a few if you want to do that. Okay.
Ogden Tower, crew check 168, with information Whiskey over the power station, requesting full stop.
Crew check 1043, I don't have anybody right now. If you just want to make this a full stop taxi back and then northbound.
Upper 1043.
Yeah, if you just want to stay in the pattern, I can get you number 1 to the runway right now.
Yeah, we'll just do one full stop taxi back to the northbound, crew check 1043.
Crew check 1043, runway 17, cleared to land.
17 clear to land, crew check 1043.
And then on 19 Whiskey, just want to confirm I gave you the restriction at or below 5,500 in the Ogden class Delta.
Yep, at or below 5,500, 19 Whiskey.
Calling over the power station, try again.
Alright, I'm going to stop the time lapse here and let you guys enjoy the cool view we had over the Great Salt Lake. That's this blue body of water ahead of us. And while we're flying over it, I'm going to briefly share a little bit more about this plane. So this is, as stated earlier, a Beechcraft Sundowner, and it is part of the Beechcraft Musketeer family. Now this family is single-engine, low-wing, light aircraft that were produced by Beechcraft. This line includes the Model 19 Musketeer Sport, the Model 23 Musketeer, Custom and Sundowner, the Model 23 through 24 Musketeer Super 3, the retractable gear Model 24R Sierra, and the military CT-134 Musketeer. Now the Musketeer line was in production from model years 1963 through 1983, during which time a total of 4,366 were produced. Ours is 1977. That was the year this one was made. The first of the line was the Model 23. It was introduced under the Musketeer name as a 1963 model, and it was powered by a Lycoming O320 D2B engine of 160 horsepower. The next year, this engine was replaced by the Continental IO346A engine, which was 165 horsepower. Now this engine was not a success, and it was in turn replaced by the Lycoming O360A4J engine, which was 180 horsepower, and this is the engine that this aircraft has. In 1970, the C23 version, which is this one as well, that our plane here is a C23 Sundowner, but in 1970 it was introduced also under the name Musketeer Custom. And then in 1972 it was renamed the Sundowner. When properly equipped, the B-23 and the C-23 are approved for limited aerobatics. Some of you may know of the Beechcraft Sierra, as explained earlier. The Beechcraft Sierra is actually the high-performance version of this plane, the Beechcraft Sundowner. So the Sierra has retractable gear, constant speed propeller, high-performance engine, but it's basically the same body as this.
Looking for traffic, 19 Whiskey.
B541, resume navigation.
Navigation, B541.
November 123, that traffic's off your right, no factor.
No factor, 123.
Now this shelf right here, the one that we're going towards, is 6,500.
Yeah, so you guide me away from that one. I'm just going to keep following the shoreline, and
okay.
Then when we get a little closer, we'll make kind of a right turn away. Just give me a heads up on that one.
The C-23 Sundowner has a max takeoff and landing weight of 2,450 pounds and a max baggage compartment load of 270 pounds. The fuel tanks carry a total of 57.2 gallons of usable fuel when topped off, and we burn roughly 10 gallons an hour, give or take. Of course, this will vary depending on the outside conditions, the altitude, and airspeed that we cruise at. I like to have an hour of fuel reserves, so that means we can fly around 4 hours, 45 minutes to 5 hours before needing to refuel. Our cruise speed is usually between 105 to 115 knots true airspeed, and that's about 120 to 132 miles per hour.
19 Whiskey. You got them all on ADS-B then?
Yep.
Alright, cool. How are we doing?
So you, once you get here, that's when you'll want to start.
Okay.
So why did my family choose this plane out of all of the different kinds of planes we could have gotten? Well, first of all, we wanted a plane that had enough room for 4 people. There's 4 people in my family. There are a lot of training aircraft that are technically 4 seats, but in reality, it's 2 seats with absolutely no legroom in the back. You can ask my family about this firsthand. We experienced that when I flew my family in a Piper Cherokee 180 on a family vacation. The people who were sitting in the back were basically crisscrossed the whole time. They had to put their knees up to their chest just to fit in the back. So the Sundowner, even though it has the same engine as the Piper Cherokee 180, it has a much bigger body, and the back seats actually have legroom. So 4 people can comfortably sit in this plane, which is what my family wanted. Also, we got a good deal on the plane. The engine had recently been rebuilt, or not recently, but rather had only 300 hours on it since it was last rebuilt. And so we decided that this was a good option for what was currently available, and we went for it.
49, flight following the practice area, 9,800, crew check up for
Flight 9, radar contact 5 miles south hill, traffic 12 o'clock and 2 miles out the direction, 6,600.
I'd probably just start heading direct there now.
Okay.
November 7419 Whiskey, contact approach on 124.4, good day.
124.4 for 19 Whiskey. Just Salt Lake approach, Sundowner 7419 Whiskey with you, 7,500.
Sundowner 7419 Whiskey, Salt Lake approach, Roger.
Cool. Just this all the way there.
United 2242, reduce speed to 210, contact approach 125.7.
Yeah, once we cross here, we can go up to 8.5 since this is at 8.6.
Cool.
It's so Phoenix area. Why does my voice sound so crackly? Do I need to turn the swells
Sounds good
down?
on my end.
Sounds okay to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you still hear me okay right now?
Yeah.
Okay. It's very similar to Salt Lake. It's just a bunch of airports underneath the shelves, so it's just a matter of making sure you're below.
Talking to ATC.
Only thing's different is that it's pretty much a whole circle. It's not just kind of half.
Do they got some VFR transition routes similar?
Only two, and they only go right above the airport.
Gotcha.
So.
At least it's not bumpy.
Say again?
At least it's not bumpy.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Smooth out.
Sundowner 19 Whiskey, traffic 1 o'clock, 5 miles northbound, up to 7,500.
Looking for traffic, 19 Whiskey.
I got it.
Okay. Traffic in sight, 19 Whiskey.
Sundowner 19 Whiskey, Roger.
All right, if you want, I'd say we can go ahead and start our climb to 8.5.
After about 2.5 hours of flying, we finally reached our halfway point, St. George, Utah. We still had a long ways to go, so we decided to make this our fuel stop. So we're going to land here, get out, walk around, stretch our legs for a bit, and obviously refuel. Up until this point, I had never actually landed the plane before, so this landing right here is actually going to be the very first one I ever did. So enjoy.
Alright, looking good. It's coming down. There's one red. There's two.
George traffic 6796 Alpha, 1 mile final 19, also full stop, St. George.
Could you move the radio box out of the way?
Yes.
We gotta Velcro that or something.
St. George traffic, Columbia 307 Alpha Golf. I'm about 12 miles north of the field inbound, going to enter a left downwind for 01. We're descending through 10,400 right now.
St. George traffic 19 Whiskey clear, runway 19, taxiing to Millionaire. St. George traffic Sundowner 7419 Whiskey, hold short runway 19, going to be a departure to the southeast. St. George. Hey, that guy's turned off. Nobody else coming on the ADS-B? That's the only one?
No.
Okay, I'll make a call. St. George traffic, Sundowner 19 Whiskey, taking runway 19. Gonna be a right turn, and then looping over, crossing midfield south, eastbound, St. George.
St. George traffic, Sky 27808, clear runway 19 on Alpha 2, going to taxi to the east hangars, or the east tie-ups, St. George.
Looks like you nailed that power off.
Cedar traffic, Charter West 1502 is 8 north, landing 19.
Okay, everything's green still, looks good. Okay.
St. George traffic, Skylane 562, holding short number 219.
There's about 70.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. It does need more back trim.
It does feel like oh, that's not right.
I'm sure once we add a tail weight, that should hopefully fix it.
For sure.
Another interesting fun fact about the Sundowner is they had a tendency to be pretty nose heavy, and when they were being manufactured, Beechcraft also made an optional tail weight that could be installed literally on the tail of the aircraft to help balance it out better, because without it, you're pretty much flying with a lot of back trim. Still within weight and balance limits, of course, but with an additional tail weight on the back, it really helps bring the center of gravity back to a nice and balanced area.
What do you think?
Yeah, we'll go and do what you said.
Okay. St. George traffic, Sundowner 7419 Whiskey, making a right turn out off 19, going to cross over midfield south eastbound, St. George.
St. George area traffic, sky 79001 on the roll, runway 19, right crosswind departure, St. George.
All right, St. George traffic, Charter West 1502 is a 4-mile final 19.
St. George traffic, 6 Papa Yankees on an 8-mile final for 19, number 2, St. George.
St. George traffic, Cessna 39ers here, holding short runway 19er up Bravo for the 2 final, St. George.
Aircraft holding short on Bravo, go ahead. I'm having some engine difficulties over here.
No worries, we're just going to hold short for the traffic on final, St. George, no rush.
Charter West 1502 CRJ, short final runway 19, St. George.
St. George traffic, Sundowner 19 Whiskey, crossing midfield, southeastbound, St. George.
St. George area traffic, sky 79001, right crosswind, runway
How's the ball?
19.
A little to the right there's about good.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. There we go. Climbing good now.
As we left the St. George area, we started preparing for the next segment of our trip, which was a flight through the Grand Canyon Special Flight Rules area. As the name suggests, the airspace around and above the Grand Canyon has some additional flight rules and restrictions that we need to abide by in order to fly through the area. Here is a picture of the Grand Canyon Special Flight Rules area on an aviation VFR sectional chart. We need to go southwest in order to get to our destination. However, that takes us right through this area, and we can't just fly through it wherever we want. The reason there is a special flight rules area over the Grand Canyon is to help separate the vast number of tours in the area from regular traffic. So, how do we get through the area? Here is a more detailed chart. The purple areas are no-fly zones. The spaces between them, called corridors, are where we can fly through. Our path takes us closest to the corridor in the middle that goes directly north and south, called the tuck-up corridor. Once we've chosen our path through this area, the next rule we have to follow is our altitude. On the chart here, we can see specific altitudes that we need to be at for each direction of flight. If we were going northbound, we would need to be at either 11,500 feet or 13,500 feet. For southbound, 10,500 feet or 12,500 feet. Since we're going southbound, we picked the lower option, 10,500. So we climbed up to this altitude and got ready to enjoy an amazing view over the Grand Canyon.
Okay, you'll turn heading 169.
Okay, now?
Yeah, right now, 169.
Bravo Whiskey,
169.
190.
November 800 Bravo Whiskey LA, climb maintain flight level 230. Good afternoon, sir.
230, good afternoon.
All right there.
Oh, sorry, keep going. I'm gonna go on this. You're fine, that's off.
No.
Here, if you want, I could take controls.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah, we gotta get that fixed, because...
I just matched it up with this.
Okay, then maybe 4Flight's giving me the wrong heading.
2279 contact Vegas approach 119.770.
1977 Horizon 2279.
Medevac 1076 kilo, go ahead descend maintain 10,000.
So retain 10,000, medevac 1076 kilo.
Medevac 76 kilo, if you don't have it, the Las Vegas altimeter 3040.
4076.
Los Angeles Freeway, State 52, 272 descending 240 direct Allen.
LA South 2653 240 2509.
South of line coordinating with Vegas, South 2653 LA, good afternoon. Clear descend via the Chow 3, runway 26 left, Las Vegas altimeter 3040.
Okay,
South 326 left, 3040, South 2653.
I gave you a wrong number. 4Flight gave me a wrong number.
267 descending 240, 250 knots.
Good afternoon, Spirit Wings 852 LA, clear to descend via the Chow 3, runway 26 left, Las Vegas altimeter 3040.
Very good, clear to descend at Chow 3, G6 left, 3040, Spirit Wings 852.
Yeah, it is.
800 Bravo Whiskey, contact LA 135.250.
3525, good day, 0 Bravo Whiskey.
Good day, sir.
All right.
Medevac 107.
Do you want to take control or do you want to enjoy the view?
Let me snap a pic.
Hey, get.
Let me just snap one pic.
Sure.
I have such a bad camera, it doesn't even look like anything.
I'll send you some I took.
Alright, cool.
I don't know how you feel about iPhone cameras, but...
Better have those 50s.
Better than mine, that's for sure.
Skywest 4321 LA, good afternoon. Are you ready to go now or no?
I'll take some videos too.
Definitely.
Alright, Skywest 4321, you're clear to the Salt Lake Airport via the HITCA 2 departure, Uriah transition, then as filed, climb maintain 1000, expect higher upon radar contact. Departure frequency 124.2, squawk 7361, you are released. Well, hold for release, I'll call you back in a sec. November 493 Delta Zulu Center.
Southwest 2705, 155, climbing 190.
Yeah, there's definitely a river down there. Running through that.
Center
Wow.
1401, within the climb 12,700 for flight level 190.
Cool.
Westjet 1401, center, climb maintain flight level 230.
Climb maintain flight level 230, Westjet 1401. Southwest 2705, 160, climbing 190.
492 Delta Zulu Center.
Are you trying to get through to 80?
Pretty sweet.
And just like that, our flight over the Grand Canyon was done. At this point, all we had left ahead of us was the rest of the flight home.
Sundowner 19 Whiskey, runway 22 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, 22 right, 19 Whiskey.
In the wide arc?
Yep.
Okay. Skip it. There we go.
Cherokee 35 Juliet, follow traffic ahead on the base of Sundowner, runway 22 right, clear touch and go.
Looking for traffic, 22 right, traffic in sight, 22 right, clear touch and go for 35 Juliet.
Pressure 107, runway 22 right, clear for takeoff, flash it out.
Runway 22 right, clear for takeoff, flash it out, Metro 107.
Sundowner 19 Whiskey, traffic opposite base, lens parallel runway.
Roger, looking for traffic, 19 Whiskey.
That was on base?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a bad
Opposite, yeah.
Yeah, so those guys will go this way and we'll go this, yeah. Alright, I'm going to pitch for airspeed, power for altitude, so we're aiming for about 80. We're a bit high, so we'll go and drop the power. I know I'm not teaching you this, I'm just walking myself through it.
You're good.
Can you give me some back trim?
Sure.
Yeah, it's easier for you.
Say when.
Right there is good.
Right there? Okay.
Rock 30, number 3, follow traffic ahead on down, runway 22 right, clear touch and go.
22 right, clear touch and go, Rock 30.
Talking Tower, Cessna 1091, Mike, over
I'm good. Okay, thank you.
With information hotel, request a full stop.
Cessna 1091, Mike, Talking Tower to right base, runway 22 right.
Right base, runway 22 right, 91 Mike.
For K3, number 3, follow traffic ahead on down, runway 22 right, clear touch and go.
Traffic, following traffic,
22 right, clear touch and go, Red Rock K3.
Nice.
Yeah. Request 107, left turn southbound approved.
Turn southbound approved, Metro 107.
Finally, after 5.5 hours of flying, Sundowner 7419 Whiskey arrived at its new home. This flight marks a new chapter in this plane's life, as well as a new chapter for my family. We will treat it with much love and care, just as it has treated each of its previous owners. I look forward to the many new adventures that await us, and I can't wait to see what the future has in store. Thank you so much for stopping by, and if you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned, as I will be taking you along with us through the horizons ahead. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.